Good evening, Nigeria. Tonight on the issues, the heat is on and the questions are unavoidable. A senator accuses President Tinubu's administration of chasing 2027 politics while critical 2024 capital project remains stalled. Is governance on pause? Former presidential candidate Adewale Adebayo delivers a stinging verdict. A1 in politics, F9 in governance. Could the real opposition come from the streets? And as opposition parties crumble from within, Senator Shehu Sani says, stop blaming Tinubu, fix your house first. Is the political class losing control? I am your host, Jerry Alpeliohan, and tonight our team of expert analysts is on hand to break it all down, ask the tough questions, and cut through the spin. This isn't just commentary, this is accountability. This is the issues on Voice of the People TV. Stay with us as we go on a quick break. We'll be right back with all the action. Do stay with us.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOPTV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOPTV, Voice of the People Television.
Welcome back. Let's dive straight into today's discussion. Senator Seriake Dixon has criticized President Bola Tinubu's administration for being distracted by political activities ahead of the 2027 elections, while the capital component of the 2024 federal budget remains largely unimplemented. Speaking on the Senate floor, Dixon lamented that although the recurrent expenditure, such as salaries, has been fully disbursed, the capital portion, which funds development projects for ordinary Nigerians, has not been released, stalling governance and frustrating contractors. He expressed support for extending the capital budget's implementation deadline to December 2025, but criticized the lack of justification for the delay. According to Dixon, preoccupation with politics and defection campaigns appears to be sidelining real governance. He called for an urgent joint investigation by the Senate committees on appropriation and finance to determine the cause of the delay, stressing that the problem isn't due to lack of funds. Supporting Dixon's concerns, Senator Yahya Abdullahi said the failure to implement the budget has eroded public trust and also the National Assembly leadership to engage directly with President Tinubu. Abdullahi warned that confidence in the government's ability to deliver on its promises is rapidly declining as citizens grow disillusioned with its performance. We'll take a listen from the man himself, talking about Senator Seriake Dixon, and of course, we'll come here and analyze the issues.
Continues to run and does not grind to a halt. But clearly, nobody is satisfied about the situation that we have found ourselves in. Mr. President, I came this morning to have a conversation with the chairman of appropriation. I'm a member of that committee too. And also the chairman of finance. And if possible, to discuss this on the floor. I didn't know that this matter was slated for hearing. Because we are all inundated with complaints all over. Government has grounded, that's what it means. Contractors who have done their jobs, committed their resources, cannot be paid. The benefits of the budget that we all took time to work on and pass has not gotten to the people. And guess what? We are talking of the capital component. The recurrent component, which is for the bureaucrats, 100%. It has gotten to them 100%. 100%. The component that has not been released, that is still stagnant, nothing is moving forward, is the real one that goes to the people of Nigeria for development of our country, for all the people that we represent. So it's a very sad situation. You recall that some weeks back, there was a time that contractors, out of frustration and anger, I hear even stage demonstrations. I read about it. A number of you on this floor may be familiar with that. So, Mr. President, the chairman of appropriation, unlike other motions and debates he has led, for which we have always supported, even from this aisle, in the interest of the country, today has not given compelling reasons why this extension has become necessary. And I don't want to hazard any guess, but from this aisle, you all know what is happening. Maybe there is too much preoccupation with politics and 2027. Maybe there is too much concentration on receiving defectors all across the country, and people are not looking at it. No, please.
Come to
Mr. President, I have the floor.
You started very well, end very well.
I have the floor. I have the floor. Because because the business of the Nigerian people, for which we were all elected, all of us and the President of the Federal Republic, is not moving forward. That is the reason this motion and this bill has become necessary. But like I said, from our experiences,
you have 1 second remaining.
Out of our commitment for the national good and for the development, we are not opposed in principle to the extension, as the minority leader and my colleagues here have spoken. But I associate with the need to investigate. We need to. Our committees. Is it that we are not having enough money? We have withdrawn, all of us supported the withdrawal of fuel subsidy, meaning that there's even more money. All the other levels of government are getting far more money. Some of us managed recessions for 6 years. Now they are getting so much money, the state governments and the local government, which is good. So that means that money or availability of money is not the challenge. The reason the capital component of the budget has not moved forward for the benefit of Nigerians is not because there's no money. So I agree with the suggestion that we should direct the committee, our committee, as a matter of fact, both committees, led by the appropriation committee, and perhaps the committee on finance as well, to jointly within the next 1 week undertake an inquiry and report back to us why this has happened, so that we don't have this happening again. I just thought that I should
thank you very much for your contribution.
And to say that in principle,
thank you.
Even though we are not happy with where we are, things have grounded to in the interest of the country. We need to pass this bill and allow the machinery of government to go on. But we need to investigate why we are here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Government continues to run and does not grind to a halt. But clearly, nobody is satisfied.
All right, you heard from Senator Siraki Dixon himself, the bias man, talking about government grounding to a halt, contractors being owed, and it looks like our politicians are more or less interested in politicking ahead of 2027, while the country is not being governed, and it's pretty sad. And today, I'm delighted to be joined by an esteemed guest here in the studio. We have Dr. Peter Adosike. Dr. Adosike is a philosopher, development economist, and best-selling author. He is also an erudite commentator on economic, finance, politics, and power. Great to have you join us on the issues.
Thank you for having me.
All right, I remember just not too long ago, we talked about a lot of distraction from real governance. And now that someone in the Senate has come out to tell us that it looks like nothing is happening, the politicians are getting more money, but the infrastructure that concerns the people are not put in the front burner. Nobody is taking the people seriously. What does this say about our politicians, and most especially those in government?
For me, the issue of getting more money, I don't really agree with it.
Okay.
What is the
value
understanding?
that,
So, what is the when Dixon was the governor? It was around 160. That's $1 for 160.
Yes.
And now it's $1 for over 1,600. So the value has depreciated over and over. So say that you are getting more money, I don't agree with it. But the main thing is that we are seeing the government not caring for the people. Because what people benefit from government is infrastructure, which comes through capital projects. These capital projects include roads and other amenities. And according to Dixon, this what it has been stalled. Understand me? And the man was sincere, saying that government that they are more interested in 2027 than the welfare of the people, which is what APC came to do, because to grab power and share. Maybe the money is being kept so that by 2027 they'll give people 5,000 for them to vote, because he is saying that allocation of resources is not the issue, because there are resources to be distributed for infrastructural projects. So, but this government that welfare of the people that is not that's in their agenda. They are behaving that as juveniles, school kids, see what is happening everywhere. Understand? Imagine yesterday that I read a report that the NYSC girl that criticized that talked about the hunger, that they have extended her service year by 2. Understand me? Months. Then you remember that in Delta State, the ones that they failed. So this shows you that this is a government of amateurs, adults still suffering from youthful exuberance. So this is what we are seeing, and it will continue until this government is put out of office.
Okay, now let's look at this critically. We are still talking about 2024 budget in the month of June 2025. And they are even talking about having it recurrently till at least December 2025.
So that's talking about the extension.
Yeah.
Budget is programmed for a year.
Yeah.
That's at least April of 2024 to April of 2025. But if what is met is not met up, that they can do what is called supplementary budget.
Yes.
That's to make sure that the fiscal year comes to an end.
Who is to blame for that? Is it that those in government don't know what they are actually doing?
The Senate, because they are not serious with the people. They are not concerned about the well-being and the welfare of the people. You heard what Dixon said, that all they know is receiving the factors from different parts of the country.
Yes.
So that has taken over the governance of the country, which is very, 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 very unfortunate.
So could this be a tactic on the part of those in government to delay all of the projects till when the elections start coming close? Then they will now focus on those projects just to win elections.
For me, they might be saving this money in order to use it to buy votes.
And not to persecute, undertake
They
projects
will be
eventually.
saving this money in order to use it to buy votes because there's no justifiable reason why the money is there and it cannot be put into action. They can be putting this money aside. At the end of the day, they will share it to themselves. Go and buy votes in your own central zone. Go and buy votes in your own central zone. Understand? So because all they are doing is capturing.
What does it say about the power dynamics? Because if you look at it, does it not look like our senators are just spectators with microphones? They no longer have a power. They cannot invite the president to ask him questions and say, why are you not, why are there no enforcement? Why is there no enforcement of project? What happens to rules of check and balances? And are the senators now spectators in government?
I have said it over and over. The Senate is a department of the executive. The Senate is a department of the executive. They get their orders from the executive. The separation of powers is no more working in this country. We have stopped practicing democracy since the 29th of May 2023. This is now it's autocracy that we are practicing. The legislation is not there, the judiciary is not there. All of them are now embedded in the executive. All of them are now embedded in the executive. So it is what the president or the executive tells them that they do. Maybe the president tells them, we told every capital project. 2027 is coming and we are not sure of what will happen. Let us have money to buy votes.
If budgets are passed but not implemented, are we witnessing a silent dismantling of democratic accountability through executive inaction?
No, there's executive action. But you have, is that action negative or positive?
Or is it in the interest of the people or not?
One, the judiciary has been compromised, the National Assembly has been compromised. The only functioning organ of government is the executive. So there's action. But that action is not in the interest of the people. It is not in the interest of the people, but in the interest of themselves. This is a government of the few, by the few, and for the few. That's what we have in this country. They have no care about what the masses are going through. Understand me? For the past 2 years, Tinubu had never mentioned electricity. So he has installed 10 billion in the Afro Rock. So whatever is happening on the other side, he doesn't want to.
No.
So that's the situation.
So how does that leave the people to understand the kind of people who are ruling us?
To arise and take power because power belongs to them. They should arise and take power because this power belongs to them. Democracy is government of the people. That's why I'll keep on talking about democratic rebellion of the people. That's the answer to the stupidity that's going on in this country. Democratic takeover of government. People must arise and say, enough is enough. We are going to take what belongs to us, period.
All right, and of course, even if the electoral system is flawed, because the impunity on the part of the government.
People united can never be defeated. You cannot rig 5 million votes. Nobody on earth can rig 5 million votes. Once Nigerians come together, even if Shehu Tinubu is the chairman of INEC, he cannot do anything. Okay. Even if Shehu Tinubu is the chairman of INEC, he cannot do anything. All I'm praying for is a unity of the Nigerian masses. That's all. Forget where the governors are, forget about where the senators are. My concern is, where are the suffering masses of this country? That's my concern. Where are the suffering masses of this country? Once we are on the same page, no matter who the INEC person is, there's nothing he or she can do.
All right, that's quite bold and affirmative. And let's go back to the next conversation where former presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Adewale Adebayo, has criticized President Bola Tinubu, saying he excels at political maneuvering but is failing at actual governance. In an interview, Adebayo linked Tinubu's performance to scoring an A1 in politics but an F9 in governance, questioning how the president could leave behind a meaningful legacy under such imbalance. Adebayo argued that Tinubu understands how to manipulate and manage the political class, recruiting, retiring, and re-engaging them as needed, but lacks awareness of the real needs and concerns of ordinary Nigerians. He also criticized the president's approach of capturing institutions and politicians to silence opposition, warning that the true opposition would come from the people, not the political elites. He concluded by calling out career politicians who only speak up when they lose appointments or benefits, labeling their dissent as self-serving. Adebayo insisted that genuine political accountability must come from citizens, not recycled political insiders. Dr. Anosike, if President Tinubu scores A1 in politics but F9 in governance, are we seeing the rise of a political technocrat disconnected from public service delivery?
That is what they call aristocracy. That is what they call aristocracy, government of the elites. Understand? But Adi Udube call it kakistocracy, government of the thieves. Understand? So, but the issue is there's a very big difference between politics and governance. Governance begins where politics ends. So during the election, before the election and during the election, it is politics that is going on. Once a candidate emerges and is sworn in, what comes then is governance. But APC, not to be a political organization, but a gang of people, are still continuing from that politics. That's why you see them both in government and in opposition. That's why you see them being in government and being in the opposition at the same time. They cannot differentiate between the two because they are not even prepared. The internet to do that is not even there. So saying that he scored A in politics, I can agree with him because even being in government, he is also still playing politics. That's why he used that word, sweep everything. Understand? So he's not talking about government. He's not talking about the well-being or the welfare of the people. There's no projection. And you can never achieve what you cannot measure. I am aware that around 2023, this government was talking about achieving 6,000 megawatts of electricity before 2015. But Tinubu has not measured it in the last 1 year because they have forgotten about it. It's just any idea that comes, Bayo Onoronga or anybody will just go and say it. Within 24 hours, it is forgotten. And he is playing politics because he knows that he has not delivered on his campaign promises. So the only way to win election is instead of governing, he will continue that's on the other side. So what Adebayo said is true, even though I don't know his own contributions to the state of the country, because I don't know him very well.
He's just an opposition. He contested under the SDP in the last presidential election, and he feels worried and decided to air his view. But if you take a look at the message himself, is Nigeria's political structure rewarding elite manipulation over meaningful performance? Or how do citizens disrupt that cycle? And how will it be possible?
Well, I always quote Jerry Bentham, a German philosopher who in 1835 said that the purpose of government is the greater good of the number of the people in the society. That's the happiness of the greater number of people in the society. This is how we measure government. The happiness of the greater number of people in the society. At least 75%. Because there's no way everybody will be happy in a system. Even in a family, everybody cannot be happy. So your focus should not be on everybody, but on greater number of people. Understand me? If you can achieve a 75% success, if 75% out of 75 people out of 100 can be happy with your government, at least you are sure of second term because majority will always carry the vote. In a country of 100 people, 75 people are happy. You are doing well. But in this country, not up to 5% is happy. Not up to 5% is happy. And he knows that. So the only way to go is to go on a roguery. Go on a roguery by compromising all the institutions, by corrupting all the institutions. That's why the National Assembly is out, the electoral body is out, the judiciary is out. Even NYS is even out. So this is not how a country is run. This is not a way that a country is run.
Did you expect that it was going to come to this under a Tinubu-led administration? Were there expectations that it was going to be this way?
Well, for me, I have been, because there was a lot of deception, there was a lot of manipulation, there was a lot of brainwashing. When they begin to talk that Tinubu built the Lagos State, Tinubu built the Lagos State, so people agreed. But those of us who were here when Tinubu was a governor know that when we begin to talk about who built this state, Tinubu's name will not even come sixth. When we begin to talk about who built this state, even 4 years of Ambode administration is far better than Tinubu's 8 years. Fashola outperformed him. Understand me? Then Jaconde. So he's nowhere so for me, then I was saying if you vote wrongly, prepare to suffer. I was saying it in 2022. Nigerians, if you vote wrongly, you will suffer because I know what he would do. And that thing that I said that he would do, he had not disappointed me.
But taking a look at Tinubu, he is more or less a politician. And it seems we've tested an ex-general under APC. And now it looks like a politician is in power. Is it that the APC itself has not been able to look inward and pick the best? Or are we waiting for when Tinubu leaves office in 2031 before they'll start picking the best like he did when he was governor? He was just preparing
Have you decided
structure.
2027?
I don't know, maybe because he's preparing for 2027 already.
But he had not to wait 2027.
Yeah, okay.
So we're talking about 2027, forget about 2031. So the solution to Nigeria problem is we've not gotten a thoroughbred businessman. It is only when we get a thoroughbred businessman that this country would move forward. Since 1960 to date, we have not gotten a thoroughbred businessman as a president. And that's our problem. That's our problem because a thoroughbred businessman will not waste resources. Understand me? He will not waste resources. He will know the project to embark on. A thoroughbred businessman would not have gone to this coastal highway because it's a waste of resources. So when you get somebody who knows the difference between a liability and an asset, this country would move forward.
That if the businessman is not engulfed in corruption.
Once he is a thoroughbred businessman. Bill Gates said that the position that somebody attained that's in his private capacity would determine how he would do in a public office.
Okay.
That's Bill Gates saying that the position somebody attained in his private capacity would determine how well he would do when he gets into public office. What was Buhari's private capacity? Zero. What was Tinubu's private capacity? Unknown. Understand me? So that's why we are where we are at this point in time. So when you get somebody who has a track record, understand? Who you can say this once he achieved his private capacity. He would just that thing that he did in the micro, he would do it in macro. Simple.
What tools do citizens actually have to hold power to account in a system where both ruling and opposition elites seem complicit?
That's one. If the citizens have the will and the determination, which I have not really seen in this country, because in Nigeria we don't have that a struggle in our DNA. Understand me? We don't have a struggle in our DNA. We live our hope tomorrow will be better. Let us manage. Understand me? And things are getting worse every day by day. So once the people cannot take their destiny in their hands, their destiny will never change.
Very interesting way to look at it. And of course, he made mention of the political elite only interested in themselves. And of course, it looks like he was even throwing jibes at the coalition, saying that they're only there for their own selfish interests, because when they see that the thing is no longer working in their favor, they decide to form a coalition against the ruling party.
Coalition happens everywhere in the country. I'm a student of history.
Okay.
Understand? So I have studied the coalition in Tanzania. It is coalition that came up, that won the election. Senegal, it was a coalition. Today in South Africa, ANC has to go into a coalition that to form a government. So everywhere that incumbent is defeated, it's always through a coalition. I can keep on citing examples in Africa, in other parts of the world. In 2015, for Jonathan to be defeated was a coalition. So what is happening now is not strange. It has happened in other parts of Africa. Mauritania, Mauritius, go and read. It is coalition that we are beating the incumbents.
He criticized the president's approach of capturing institutions and politicians to silence opposition. He also warned that the true opposition would come from the people, not the political elite. Do you agree with this position?
That's what I said initially about democratic rebellion of the people. That is the only way. Democratic rebellion of the people. The people must arise to take back their country. There's no other ways about it. The people must arise. It happened in South Korea and other parts of the world. It has happened. So if the people fail to arise, what will happen will continue to happen. So the people must first of all say enough is enough. Then they have to arise and go and take what belongs to them. It will not be easy. It will certainly not be easy, but it is possible.
Are we going to witness a revolution? Talking about a fight between the political elite and the people.
I say democratic rebellion. That's my word. Democratic rebellion. Understand? People holding those in power to account. Understand me? That's using every democratic means to achieve power.
Let me now go over to the next conversation as well, where Senator Shehu Sani has urged Nigeria's opposition parties, including the PDP, Labour Party, NNPP, and SDP, to address their internal crisis instead of blaming President Bola Tinubu for their problems. Speaking on national television, Sani criticized party leaders for expecting the president to resolve internal disputes, stating that each party should take responsibility for managing its affairs independently. He dismissed the claims that the president orchestrated the opposition defections, calling such accusations irresponsible. Sani warned that internal sabotage and leadership failures within the parties are the root of their struggles, not external interference from the presidency. According to him, relying on scapegoats only reflects a lack of seriousness and weak internal structures. Sani also echoed President Tinubu's stance that it is not his role to help opposition parties stabilize. In a recent speech, Tinubu mocked their disunity and said it was a displeasure to watch them in disarray. Sani affirmed this political reality, stating that no president would fix problems for opponents who could eventually become political threats. Dr. Anosike, does the opposition's constant blaming of Tinubu reveal deeper institutional decay? And are these parties now addicted to victimhood politics?
Well, I want to start. I want to agree that some people in the opposition behave like a bunch of idiots. I was reading the Osun State PDP calling on Tinubu to come and resolve their problems. Osun State PDP that defeated the governors, the president's cousin, Oyetola, calling him that to come and settle their problems. Calling somebody in a different political party that to come and settle your own problem. That's how idiots behave. Then, for him, Shehu Sani is a hypocrite. Shehu Sani is one of the problems of this country. He is a hypocrite. Before, I was having a kind of respect for him, but I have now seen he's not different from all the other politicians in this country who complain when it's not favoring them. Between 2015 and 2023, Buhari, El-Rufai was Buhari's Ban Friday. And Shehu Sani was not on the same page with El-Rufai. So he was criticizing Buhari's government. He was criticizing Buhari's government. Things are not going well. Things are not going well. Then 2023, El-Rufai fell out of Buhari's Tinubu's good book. He saw an opportunity and now enters Tinubu's government. Now begin to criticize those in the opposition. It doesn't show integrity. It doesn't show honesty. It doesn't show a man with a character. So what he's saying now is because he is that's on Tinubu's good book. What he said now is because he is on Tinubu's good book. But for saying that Tinubu is or APC is behind the crisis in the opposition, it is true. And somebody from the APC has come out and confirmed it through a press statement that they are behind the crisis in the opposition, which to me is nothing bad. I'm a realist. Which to me is nothing bad. Politics is not a moral game. It is not. Politics is contesting for a political office is not the same thing as contesting for Young Men's Christian Association. These are two different consultations. So in politics, it's a dirty game, and you play it that way. So if you are in power and some people are gathering up against you, you have to disorganize them. And that's what Tinubu and APC is doing, which is part of the game. Then those in the opposition should also be looking for ways to destabilize APC. I know that once this party, ADA, stands, there will be a mass movement from APC to ADA. Once ADA is registered, there's going to be a mass movement that APC will empty into ADA. Understand me? So this APC is trying to destabilize the parties in the opposition. The parties in the opposition should also be working hard to destabilize APC. That's what the game is all about.
All right, could the spectacle of opposition collapse be part of a broader democratic crisis where political competition is reduced to theater, not substance?
For the opposition, nothing works at the beginning. Forming a coalition is not a team party.
Okay.
Nobody expects it to be easy.
Definitely.
Understand me? So, but I believe that a strong opposition will come out to challenge APC. I've been telling you this right from time. A strong opposition will come out and challenge APC. But saying that it's going to be a piece of cake or a walk in the park, it will not be. It's not going to be easy, but it is very, very possible. It is very, very possible. Many people in APC now are going to work against APC.
You're so certain of this because definitely I must take caution when you make your, would I say, philosophical ideas, and because what you've said on this platform most of the time come true. And of course, Dr. Anoski is a great philosopher at that, I must say. And of course, maybe one day we'll grade you in the power on the likes of Socrates and co. Who knows? Okay, what does this say about Nigerian democracy if parties only function when in power and implode the moment they are in opposition?
Because we practice bread and butter politics.
Politics, okay.
That's the only answer. We practice bread and butter politics.
Stomach infrastructure.
I therefore you should call it stomach infrastructure. The reason is because we have only professional politicians. Those who don't have their own personal office, who have no trade, no skill, or understand me, their money is in politics. So when their own party is out of power, they will become empty, broke. So the next thing is to join the
ruling party.
The ruling party. So it is.
So no ideologies, all about personal
no
interest.
Ideology, no welfare of the people. At least before you join the party, you should ask yourself, how is this party impacting on the life of the people? Is it doing well? Is it delivering on its campaign promises? Is the economy getting better? Is security getting reduced? But our politicians don't ask this question. Understand? It's anywhere that money is, they will go there.
So is the Messiah going to come from the streets? Is it going to be a man who's running from a neutral party, for instance?
Everywhere in the world, Messiah comes from the street. Jesus did not come from the
Prophets.
palace. Donald Trump was an outsider. P2B was an outsider. Understand me? So Messiahs will always come from the outside.
So we should look outside and not amongst this particular politicians?
The Messiah will come from outside.
All right, I want to say big thanks, Dr. Anosuke. It's been awesome having you. Though running solo, I must say you've been awesome as well as a great philosopher that you are.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and that's where we'll leave it tonight. The questions have been asked, the truths exposed, and the conversation far from over. As always, the issues isn't just about politics, it's about the people, the power, and the promise of a better Nigeria. A special thank you to Dr. Peter Dosike for his insight and candor. And I am Jerry Apelioi, and this has been the Issues on Voice of the People TV. Stay informed, stay engaged, and above all, stay vocal. Good night, Nigeria.